Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allahumma la sahla illa ma ja'altahu sahla wa anta taj'alul hazna idha shi'ta sahla. Allahumma a'inni ala dhikrika wa shukrika wa husni ibadatik. Rabbi zidni ilma. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Brothers, sisters and elders, I welcome you all to online Tajweed classes, lesson 8. Jazakumullahu khairan for your feedback, and Alhamdulillah, it's good to know that brothers and sisters are practicing and implementing Tajweed rules while reciting Quran in Ramadan and after Ramadan, inshallah. Okay, so last week we left at the long vowels, how we can practice long vowels which forms when alif, waw and ya get attached to any of the letter afterwards. So we also looked into how we can replace the alif with fatha qa'ima and kasra qa'ima and dhamma maqluba. So we had two harakat for each. So inshallah, now we're going to move on to other vowels. So we covered short vowels, long vowels, and last week on the last slide we had a similar slide where you can see on the screen that we will cover other vowels in the next session. So here are some other vowels which are used in Arabic language in Quran. So first of all, we got Tanween. Now that's what we're going to cover today, inshallah. So what is Tanween and what are the symbols and how it makes a sound and how it will affect the letter and so on. Okay, so Tanween, it is the three, as we know, we've already seen the short vowels, Fatha, Kasra and Dhamma. So the three short Arabic vowels, Fatha, Kasra and Dhamma, which we have covered before, it can be doubled. So we can write them twice. This is known as Tanween. And it changes the sound of the vowels by adding a noon sound to the end. So as we have before, for example, ba fatha ba, there was no n sound or noon sound in that word or in the vowel. So here we're going to see some examples how to add a noon sound and it will form a tanween. Now the vowels we use in tanween are, as you can see on the screen. Again, just a reminder that from right towards left to be moving, inshallah. So on the right hand side we have fatha tain. So there's two fatha. Inshallah we'll look into detail in the next slide. So how do we know this is to do with fatha? Because it's above the line where the letters are to be written. And then we have in the middle at the bottom of the line kasra tain. Then we have two dhamma at the top of the line. We have two fatha, two kasra and two dhamma. Now here's a table which shows you clearly what are the symbols, what they're called, and where is the position for those symbols, and what are the sound they're going to generate. So in here, in this table, as this is not in Arabic on this Arabic words on the screen, so we're gonna go from left to right. So on the left column we have Tanween. So we have Fatha Tain. So these two lines, two Fatha in Arabic is called Fathatain, or it's also called Fathatan, or it's also called Fatha Tanween. Okay, some might also call it Fathain, but inshallah we're going to stick to these three names. You can call either, inshallah. So fathatain, this is which I will be using throughout the lesson inshallah. So this is fathatain, and the position of this fathatain is at the top of the letter, and the sound it makes is an sound. So there's an n sound in there, an. It's not a only this time, but there's an n sound, the noon sound. So if ba has the fathatain on top, it will be pronounced as ban. Then we have on the second row two kasra tanween, and it's called kasratain or kasratan or kasra tanween. And the position of kasra, as we know, is at the bottom of the letter. So is for the kasra tanween or kasratain, and the sound it makes is in sound. So there's again the letter n used in the the sound for this kasra, kasratain or kasra tanween. Then we have two dhamma, in the tanween column, and these two dhamma is called dhammatain or dhammatan or dhamma tanween, and the position of dhamma is always on top of the letter, and the sound it will make is un sound. So there's an n sound there. So if it's on ba, we'll say bun. Now, as you can see in the left column, tanween column, there's two dhamma written in three different ways. Now you may see any of these ways. So there's two dhamma. Then the second place is two dhamma, but one is upside down. Then we have a different form of two dhamma, a merged form. So these all are called fathatain, fathatan, or dhammatain, dhammatan, and dhamma tanween. Now you can use either, but like I said, inshallah, I will be using the first options: fathatain, kasratain, and dhammatain. Now tanween, if we look, as we've seen in the letters before in the slide, how to write these vowels. Now if we start from the right, you can see the meme with the dhamma on top, and then we have the letter noon. Now don't worry what's it got on top of noon, we'll inshallah cover that later on. So meme and dhamma and then noon afterwards. So this is mun. So if we were to cross the noon out, as you can see in the middle column, cross the noon out, then we will replace that with another dhamma with the same vowel which is already on the meme. So it will be pronounced and written as with dhamma tanween or dhammatain as mun. Then we have on the second row jim, kasra, noon, jin. Now then in the second column you can see the noon's been cut off and it's replaced with another kasra, and we can write as jim, kasra, tain, jin, which is most left column. Then we have the letter ba, fatha, and then we have a noon afterwards. Again similarly, if you were to cross a noon out, we'll replace that again with fatha, which will make it fatha tain. Okay, so as you can see, there's an alif attached to the fathatain, but there's no alif with dhammatain, meme dhammatain. There's no alif with jim kasratain, but there is a alif with fathatain. Inshallah, we'll cover that in the next slide. Why it has a alif with it. But to make the words in a short form, now we understand that all we have to do is cancel the noon letter out, and use a Tanween sign instead. But if we were to expand the, like Jim, if we want to expand what is in the Jim, Kasratain, after when we pronounce Jin, then we can expand to, as you can see, the most right column. So we have Jim and the Noon in there. Okay, so as I mentioned, the Alif is joined with only Fathatain. I'll show you the slide again. So you see Mim with Dhammatain and Jim with Kasratain, they have no Alif afterwards, but only Ba with Fathatain has Alif. So anytime when you see the letter with Fathatain, automatically, immediately after the letter, it will have an Alif. Always, except in Ta Marbuta. Ta Marbuta is, I'm sure I've mentioned this before in the class, but basically it's a letter Ta, okay, and when it's written in this shape, then we will leave it like this. There will be no Alif written afterwards. For every other letter from Alif to Ya, they will have Alif if there's a Fathatain. So it's nothing to do with Kasratain, nothing to do with Dhammatain, only Fathatain. Okay, so here we're gonna practice. We have Alif to Ya, and as you can see on the slide, we have Fathatain on all these letters. And notice, as mentioned before, that Alif will be added to all those letters when there's a Fathatain. So the way we're going to read this is like this: Alif Fathatain An, Ba Fathatain Ban, Ta Fathatain Tan, Tha Fathatain Than, Jim Fathatain Jan, Ha Fathatain Han, Kha Fathatain Khon, Dal Fathatain Dan, Dhal Fathatain Than, Ra Fathatain Ron, Zay Fathatain Zan, Sin Fathatain San, Shin Fathatain Shan, Sad, so notice the full mouth letter, Sad Fathatain Son, Dad Fathatain Don, Ta Fathatain Ton, Dha Fathatain Dhan, Ain Fathatain An, Ghain Fathatain Ghun, Fa Fathatain Fan, Qaf Fathatain Qan, Kaf Fathatain Kan, Lam Fathatain Lan, Mim Fathatain Man, Noon Fathatain Nan, Ha Fathatain Han, Waw Fathatain Wan, Ya Fathatain Yan. So these are Alif to Ya alphabets with a Fathatain on top. So please practice these. Pause the video now and you can practice this again by yourself and then move to the next slide. Okay, we have Kasratain now. So I'll read them again to you, but as you can see from Alif to Ya, there is no Alif attached afterwards. So the Alif only gets attached if there's a Fathatain. So let's do this together. ألف كسرتين إن، با كسرتين بن، تا كسرتين تن، ثا كسرتين ثن، جيم كسرتين جن، حاء كسرتين حن، خاء كسرتين خن، دال كسرتين دن، ذال كسرتين ذن، را كسرتين رن، زي كسرتين زن، سين كسرتين سن، شين كسرتين شن، صاد كسرتين صن، ضاد كسرتين ضن، طا كسرتين طن، ظا كسرتين ظن، عين كسرتين عن، غين كسرتين غن، فا كسرتين فن، قاف كسرتين قن، كاف كسرتين كن، لام كسرتين لن، ميم كسرتين من، نون كسرتين نن، ها كسرتين هن، واو كسرتين وين، يا كسرتين ين. So these are the alphabets from Alif to Ya with the kasratain on top, and you learn how to pronounce these letters. Alhamdulillah. Then we have the last slide for Tanween, which is Dhammatain. Alif Dhammatain Un, Ba Dhammatain Bun, Ta ضمتين تن، ثا ضمتين ثن، جيم ضمتين جن، حا ضمتين حن، خا ضمتين خن، دال تمتين دن، ذال ضمتين ذن، را ضمتين رن، زي ضمتين زن، سين ضمتين سن، شين ضمتين شن، صاد ضمتين صن، ضاد ضمتين ضن، طا ضمتين طن، ظا ضمتين ظن، عين ضمتين عن، غين ضمتين غن، فا ضمتين فن، قاف ضمتين قن، كاف ضمتين كن، لام ضمتين لن، ميم ضمتين من، نون ضمتين نن، ها ضمتين هن، واو ضمتين ون، يا ضمتين yun. So these are the 3 slides with 3 alphabets from alif to ya with all the tanween. Fathatain, kasratain and dhammatain. All together is called tanween. All together is called tanween from fathatain, kasratain and dhammatain. So inshallah, make sure you practice these and implement them. And next week, as we have covered today the tanween, next week we're going to look into the next topic, which is sukoon. And inshallah, the next lesson we'll discuss maybe depending how much we cover for sukoon, so we might cover more than one, maybe shadda and the mud section as well, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair wa barakallahu feekum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.